grateful heart, give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. We give thanks. We give
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, pero sa sinangalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong bangaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhaging pagsikap, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Distinguished guests, representatives of government agencies, local government units, members of the academe, researchers, private sector companies, stakeholders, our friends from the media, a pleasant morning to everyone. Welcome to the Science and Innovation Budding Opportunities for Leverage, or what we call SIBOL, your bi-monthly dose of webinar for new projects, supported by the Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technology, Research and Development, or DOST-STII. For this edition, we will be featuring our new projects that will help us better adapt to the new normal. This is Diane Tating of DOST-STII, and I will accompany you today as the host of this event. So we are live right now here in Zoom and also in Facebook. And we have a total number of 171 participants here in the Zoom room. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. And also in our Facebook. Let me just check. Thank you to all our 48 Facebook participants. Hello, good morning. Please do share this live video so that we can reach more people, so that many others can witness the different programs that we will be unveiling for today. So I want to hear from you. Can you just type in our Zoom chat box, and even our friends from Facebook, please do let us know your name, where you are coming from, your affiliation, and then I'll be doing a very quick shout out later. Okay, so we would appreciate hearing from you just to get the energy up before we officially start. Okay, so While you are all typing, let me just give you a quick background on why we are here. Why are we doing this webinar? What are we going to expect from this webinar today? So as we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has swept through countries all over the globe and has changed our lives forever, as its legacy will be with us for a very long time. How long has it been? More than a year, right? And experts have surmised that we may not soon return to the pre-pandemic life, even if societies start up and industries open again. Thus, we brace for the new normal. The new normal entails, following health protocols like protective mask, maintaining physical distancing, higher standards of hand and personal hygiene. And with that, many health innovations are being developed to easily fulfill these needs and protocols that will push forth a more technology-driven health sector. As we are all part of a community, there will also be a boom in the number of smart innovations to be adapted, as these make processes efficient, faster, and do not require individuals to be physically present, hence preventing the spread of this virus. And we at DOST-Philippines believe that technologies will aid us in making our new normal even better. As a primary government agency that spurs innovation and progress through science and technology, DOST-Philippines deems this an opportunity for the Philippines to take the lead in developing smart innovations for smart cities and the health sector. And so today, join us and get a glimpse of the initiatives and projects supported by the DOST-Philippines that will soon equip the Philippines with cutting-edge innovations for a better normal. So that is what we are going to expect for today. And so I would like to acknowledge our participants. Okay, we have all the way from Karkar Central National High School, Cebu. Hello. Visayas State University. We have also from Pangasinan State University, Infanta Campus. Andyan din ang mga taga Bulacan Agricultural State College. Sino pa? Caloocan City Business High School, Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Mariners Polytechnic College, Foundation of Canaman Incorporated, Pamantasan ng Cabuyao, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Muntinlupa, Ateneo de Manila University, Caloocan City Business High School, Sorsogon State University. Aba, may mga representatives tayo all the way from Luzon, Visayas. Tingnan natin kung merong manggagaling ng Mindanao. Okay, Adamson University, Toledo National High School, Province of Aklan, may Visayas. DOST Calabarzon, hello from our family from Calabarzon. Also from Central, DOST Central, magandang umaga. DOST Misamis Oriental, Pangasinan. Also from our family, friends from DTI Region 1, Phil Rice, Isabela, Zampen Basulta, Chapter, Zamboanga City. Okay, well represented tayo lahat from all over the country. Cavite Provincial Peso, Science City of Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, Davao del Sur, Quezon City, Marinduque, Butuan City, Davao del Sur. Of course, DOST-ITDI, ating mga pamilya sa DOST CHED, NCR, DOST Region 12, Angeles University Foundation Integrated School. So magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, and thank you for joining us today. Certainly you will not regret making time for this event. Okay, may pahabol pa may galing pa din Baguio. So let's get started. I know that everybody is excited for the lineup of projects and also for our dear special guest for this day's webinar. So let's keep the ball rolling. Let's sit tight and let's learn how Filipino scientists and researchers are planning to make significant changes for our better new normal country. Officially welcoming us all is an outstanding engineer who led and worked on numerous game-changing programs and projects in the fields of land surveying, remote sensing and geographic information system, environmental monitoring, and disaster risk assessment and management. One of these is the Disaster Risk Exposure Assessment and Mitigation Light Ranging and Detection Technology, or the DREAM LIDAR, which was recognized as the biggest single project that a research unit in the entire University of the Philippines system has ever undertaken. This project addressed and helped mitigate the effects of flooding disasters in the country by producing accurate national terrain elevation maps and training highly skilled lidars and flood mapping experts all over the country. These initiatives have been proven essential in the country's resource monitoring and management and in various government agencies' decision-making processes for policy formulation. Please give a warm round of virtual applause for the Executive Director of DOST-STII, none other than Dr. Enrico C. Paringit. Good morning, Doc Eric.
Thank you very much, Diane. Filipino scientists and researchers from the academic and research institutions, representatives from government agencies who are with us today, our fellow public servants from and government officials that are gracing us with this event. Of course, our representatives from the private sector who might be interested in what will be unveiled in today's event. Our partners from the media who are covering, of course, the series of launches that we are having. We have a very special guest. We are in awe of beauty and splendor, so we'd like to hear from her today. I will not mention her name, but a little later on, we'd like also to hear from her. Our colleagues at PSHERD and other attendees in today's event, thank you very much for yet again organizing this event to inspire and inform our community about the latest developments and initiatives that we have at the Department of Science and Technology, of course, through our researchers. Our pleasant good morning to everyone. To our partners, to ensure the Philippines will seamlessly adapt to the new normal using emerging technologies. You know, the DOST, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, would like to express thanks to all of you today for being with us to witness yet again the launch of these new projects that will spur the progress in the Philippines' emerging technologies and health sector. We also would like to, of course, welcome everyone to this fourth edition, to those who have been following this and to those who have missed the three previous events. The Science and Innovation Budding Opportunities for Leveraging, or SIBOL, is a webinar series that we have put together to cast a spotlight on newly approved and commenced projects supported by DOST-Philippines. Of course, we have to give due recognition to the brilliant and hardworking researchers and scientists who have come up with these 6 new smart projects related to health and well-being. First, Dr. Zar Jakiri Sarmiento from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Dr. Alvin Carlo Tapia from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Engineer Francis Barquilla from the DOST Regional Office in 4A, Southern Luzon, Dr. Erwin Enriquez from the Ateneo de Manila University, and Dr. Romeric Pobre from the De La Salle University. You know, the pandemic, the sudden emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 has swept through many cities around the world, claiming millions of lives and causing major social and economic impacts. We now know that. No? But the pandemic occurred as smart solutions and technologies become actually very visible in numerous cities. As physical mobility and connectivity is highlighted to be one of the main factors contributing to the spread of the virus, the technological advances that have reduced the reliance on physical connectivity offer some good alternatives to maintain the functionality of urban spaces during these times of crisis. A 2021 literature review on smart city technologies against COVID-19 reveals that in the past 2 decades or so, smart city solutions are enabled by technologies such as ICT, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, deep learning, cloud computing can contribute to addressing societal challenges such as the pandemic that we are facing today. So it is in this light that the pandemic has offered actually an unprecedented opportunity to test the mettle of our smart city solutions. But the smart solutions is not just confined to making sure our urban spaces become safe and livable. It's also up to us. So it's also up to us and the persons that we are with. That's why we are also supporting technologies that will enable us to be safe with each other. And that is, of course, through the different technologies that have been worked out by our researchers to make sure that we know the status of our health and making sure also that our living and working spaces are healthy as well, healthy and safe as well. As we can observe in the Philippines and many other countries all over the globe, many communities have relied on smart innovations to contain the spread of the virus and enhance their research capabilities. So that's why there is a demand for technologies in the new normal for personal care now more than ever. And COVID-19 has actually triggered the health workers, researchers, scientists to shift to digital solutions, smart solutions at that, to save more lives amidst the pandemic. So one solution is actually to apply mobile applications to reach out to the population and, of course, spread not the virus but awareness. Capture the virus, not the virus, but of the health status, no? And disseminate dietary information, show nearby testing sites, and use this information also for contact tracing. For diagnostic centers that detect and confirm diseases, the pandemic has also led to the development of new diagnostic tools such as home tests and rapid antibody tests. Mobile apps are now widely used also to book and easily show results of diagnostic tests, facilitate data capture from home testing, and provide the option to enroll in clinical trials specific to their therapeutic area. Telemedicine is now a known solution to treat patients and prevent healthcare workers from catching the virus, and it also has the potential to become a popular way of to have an interaction between patient and physician in the future, even at post COVID-19 periods. In addition, we are looking at the role of augmented reality as a tool that could transform how medical services could be performed, like perhaps when a doctor performs a remote physical examination. Mobile apps and portals deployed by hospitals can be used by patients and their families after their visit or when they're about to be discharged from hospital to gain information about the disease, visit details, and clinical trial sign-up option. With these examples underscored, we can see that technologies can play a central role in the new normal. And certainly innovations can help us live a better one. We at the Assured are confident that the projects that we will unveil today will aid us in our journey towards a better, safer normal. These technologies will help us adjust, adapt, and emerge as victors in this global crisis that we are currently facing. We hope that these technologies that we are unveiling today will provide slivers of hope in our quest to take back our lives and once again be with our friends and loved ones. Let me invite you to have a sneak peek as to what this new and better normal technologies will be in store for us with the help of our Filipino scientists, engineers, and researchers who have been working on these emerging technologies for the new normal. Welcome to SIBOL, and today we will witness the rise of new projects that will make innovation work for our people. Thank you, and mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eric, for that warm welcome and for the expression of commitment. And yes, I agree to what you said. We will emerge as victors through the power of science, technology, and innovation. Thank you so much again, Dr. Eric. I hope our audience were inspired to learn about our technologies today as we head on, as we desire, and as we aim for a better normal. But before that, I know that everybody has been waiting for this moment because we have a special guest joining us today. And I am honored, truly honored to introduce her to everybody. So our next speaker is an epitome of beauty and brains. She is a Filipino-Australian professional model who earned a degree on applied science in forensic studies from the University of Canberra. Having been trained as a scientist, she developed a keen interest and appreciation in science and technology, which made her an advocate for STEM education for our children. In fact, she partnered with the charity organization Books of Tomorrow to promote learning for our children. Ladies and gentlemen, to give an inspirational message to all of us, please welcome with a round of virtual applause, Binibining Pilipinas International 2021, none other than Ms. Hannah Arnold. Blow us away, our queen.
Hi, hello, good morning. Hi, everyone. So, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ay, sorry, my voice. So, firstly, I would like to say my heartfelt thank you to DOST Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development, and Binibining Pilipinas Charities Incorporated for having me in today's SIBOL 2021. To Dr. Peringit, Miss Diane, esteemed guest speakers, and online audience, I may be here dressed as your Binibining Pilipinas International 2021. However, today I am going to be speaking to you and sharing my story as a forensic science graduate and advocate for education, science, and technology. So as a child, I always had a curious eye for everything around me and open ears to the sounds nearby. My parents told me I used to want to be a veterinarian because I loved seeing and hearing little creatures in the neighborhood. However, when my grandfather became unwell, I saw the doctors in the hospital working hard to help him. So at the age of 7, I wanted to be a doctor, helping my family and community. This dream stayed with me until high school, where in science class, I had a sudden fire in my eyes as I was introduced to the Bunsen burner, pun intended. I honestly wasn't the greatest student in my science classes. However, I found so much joy in the experiments, especially when combining chemicals and seeing, smelling, or feeling a reaction take place. A beautiful reaction happens when you just trust in the formula and combine things together. This also shed light on important connections all around us that I took for granted or never even thought about. In 2011, it was time for me to choose my college unit electives, and without hesitation, I chose Japanese, chemistry, and biology. At this age, I still wasn't that knowledgeable in science. However, I had a big imagination and a lot of ideas that I believed would fit perfectly in these subjects. One thing that I love about science is the fields of study within, because it is really an open field with new branches emerging as research grows. And now it was during grade 12 where we had one lesson dedicated to fingerprinting, introducing us to forensic science, which draws from physics, chemistry, and biology, with its focus being on the recognition, identification, and valuation of physical evidence. It was in this lesson that I realized I could further my studies in an area I loved. I would be venturing into a career that required curious people just like me. And most importantly, I would help my community and be a voice for the voiceless. Fast forward to the years 2014 to 2017, I proudly studied and graduated with a Bachelor of Applied Science in Forensic Studies at the University of Canberra, Australia. But this wasn't an easy journey. I did not have family or friends in science careers that I could reach out to. I was one of only few girls in my classes, also one of the youngest. And I did fail my genetics unit and had to repeat it the following year. However, what I learned from that experience is that just like in scientific reports, failure and new and uncomfortable environments are an essential part. So we can observe more, come up with new hypotheses, learn new lessons, and conclude with something strong and beneficial for ourselves and others. I also made sure that during this journey, I reminded myself of my why. I am sure that just like the presenters today, the reason why I wanted to take up that course was to be of service to the community. Now, time for me to talk about the present. My path may have been redirected. I became a model, a beauty pageant candidate, and a sleep scientist for a short while. So I may not currently be a working or researching scientist. However, my love for the lab, wearing my lab coat, goggles, and the smell of the chemicals will never disappear. I will proudly continue to raise the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics flag. So just like what I said in my opening statement of Binibining Pilipinas, as a forensic science graduate, I would like to see our country invest in science and technology. Let us encourage our students to become scientists and take up STEM courses. Then together we can prevent another pandemic. This pandemic truly shone an even greater spotlight on science. The developments we see today are because of the scientists who shouldered the responsibility of informing the public of the dangers of COVID-19. The vaccines that are saving lives and preventing serious symptoms are because of scientists, and the new smart technologies that allow us to adjust to new protocols, communicate, educate, and learn in the new normal are because of those in the field of technology. STEM will continue to play a vital role in our lives, even after the pandemic. Thus, building a strong foundation now will set our country up for success for the remainder of 2021 and beyond. Science will help us improve our critical thinking as we discover the world around us. Technology will prepare us to be in a high-tech, innovative environment. Engineering will allow us to improve our problem-solving skills and apply this to new projects in the community. Mathematics will enable us to analyze information and make conscious decisions when creating solutions for all. STEM education brings a valuable contribution to our society and will prepare us to transform areas of concern with innovation and sustainable solutions. Now, I know that this is why we are all gathered here today, because we already believe in the power of science and technology. We are here to listen and learn about the technologies for the new normal, which are innovative, sustainable, and for the benefit of all. I am aware that our audience today may be members of DOST, students of STEM, scientists and technologists, or project members of the innovations being presented. However, I want us to reach an even greater audience after today. Let us convince everyone, especially the younger generations and those in power, that science and technology will help us out of this darkness. Let us inspire confidence and belief in the future. Now more than ever, the Philippines longs for modern-day heroes and leaders who will work towards genuine and sustainable development. I believe that those modern-day heroes are in the fields of STEM. So you, dear audience member, have the potential to become a significant change maker in our society. You may or may not be a part of any branch of science and technology at the moment, but remember that if you find yourself with new ideas, talk about it with those around you, because those scientists and technologists before us made their discoveries because they were also curious. They changed the world, and so can you. Remember when I said I was 7 and wanted to be a doctor for the community? That was because I was unaware that science also had a huge impact in helping others. And if it wasn't for the female teachers I had in my college years, I wouldn't have seen the possibility of becoming a woman in STEM. So I am so grateful that the Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technology Research and Development stands with me today in encouraging people of all genders and ages to consider a pathway into science and technology. I am looking forward to our future collaborations in which we will surely improve awareness of STEM, increase subject uptake by aligning it to the values of students, and help people appreciate and recognize the importance of STEM. Thank you for allowing me to share my story and thoughts on our current situation. I hope that my message will inspire another 7-year-old girl to become a scientist too. And to any of our audience members, I will be here for you. You can message me because behind the sash and crown, I do have a science lab coat also. Just don't ask me to recite the entire periodic table, but I will be here as a friend, emotional support, and guide on your journey. Because we are all colleagues in science. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Ms. Hannah. Wow, that was a wonderful message. We were inspired, and I know that every 7-year-old persons inside of us are all encouraged. So it's not yet too late to dream our dreams, even way before our childhood. So Ms. Hannah, thank you. Thank you for raising not only our Philippine flag, but also the flag of science and technology. And you are indeed one of our modern heroes, being an encouragement and inspiration to every one of us. From your inspiration message, what struck me the most is to always be reminded of your why, because that will always keep you going. Thank you so much, Ms. Hannah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can we all give our queen a round of virtual applause?
Thank you.
Now, I am sure you are all excited to learn about the new DOST supported projects. So let us proceed to the main event, because later today, after our presentations, we will be entertaining questions. And should you have any questions for our queen, Ms. Hannah, you are free to chat it away in our Q&A box. Okay, so let's get started. I know everybody's encouraged, inspired, and so let's keep going. So the first project that we will be presenting is from Dr. Zar Jakiri Sarmiento, a licensed geodetic engineer who is currently the chairman of the Department of Geodetic Engineering and director at the Training Center for Applied Geodesy and Photogrammetry in UP Diliman. He has over 60 scholarly publications, from journal articles to refereed conference publications. He is involved in several research studies, from science research specialist to project and program leader. Today, Dr. Sarmiento will be talking about one of his recent projects titled A Link Up of Geomatics in Social Science Research for the Development of Smart Cities, or what we call lungsod. Let us all welcome Dr. Zar Jakiri, Doc Jack Sarmiento, with a warm round of virtual applause.
Magandang araw po. Welcome to Project Lungsod. Now let me be a bit informal for these welcome remarks. Alam po natin na we're going through a very tough time, a very difficult time. Not just for the city of Iloilo, pati na rin po sa project team namin sa Universidad ng Pilipinas at maging sa buong bayan. Alam naman po natin yung pandemic na kinakaharap natin ngayon ay hindi biro. At lahat ng mga proseso na ginagawa natin usually before ay nagdadaan sa mga pagbabago at mga iba't ibang kaparaanan para umusad ng paunti-unti. And difficult situations such as this can sometimes be addressed by tried and tested methods. Yung mga nagawa na po before, ang konsepto po ng Smart City ay umuusad sa popularidad recently. But what really makes a smart city smart? Ano nga po pa ang Project Lungsod? ano po ang values namin at ang development approach ng proyekto. How can Iloilo City accomplish this with the government? This and more will be explained further in our learning materials. Hindi ko na po patatagalin. Dalangin ko po na ligtas tayong lahat sa kapanahon ng ito at umaasa po ako na sa aming munting kaparaanan ay makatulong naman po kami sa pagpapaunlad ng ating mahal na lungsod. Maraming salamat po.
Now, to start, for the project overview, the formal name of Project Lungsod is a link-up of geomatics and social science research for the development of smarter cities. It is a 2-year research project, and we started earlier this year, February 2021, and is expected to be completed by February 2023. Its implementing agency is the UPTC-AGP, and its funding agency is the DOST-STII. To give a little background of us, the UP Department of Genetic Engineering, or UPDGE, is the country's leading institution in geospatial research and instruction, and has produced geomatics professionals who are actively engaged in various industries, both in the public and private sector, locally and internationally. And we have the UPTC-AGP, or the UP Training Center for Applied Geodesy and Photogrammetry, which is the research and extension arm of the department. Some of the projects and programs, if you've heard of them, is the DREAM program, which provides LiDAR datasets to LGUs and other private entities. And recently, we've also had Project HEAT that assesses urban heat islands in highly urbanized cities. Some of the output maps and engagements can be seen in this slide. And one of the cities that are also involved in this project was Iloilo City. So for our study area, the project decided to start at Iloilo City, which was identified as a prime pilot for innovative solutions due to its track record of good governance and public-private collaborations. And also in their CDP, they had this vision to be a premier smart city of excellence in the country. Hence, this is also why we've chosen the city for the first phase of the implementation of Project Lungsod. Now, we know that the development of smart city, it's a journey, and the team has identified 4 factors, or rather parameters, that could contribute to the success of any smart city initiative. We need to have an accelerated development. We need to take on a multidisciplinary and multi-stakeholder approach in the project. We also need an established digital twin, or the copy of the city in a digital form, and also a strong societal connection. Now, these 4 factors we've seen in other smart city initiatives all over the world, such as Korea, Singapore. So, Project Lungsod is planning to look into these factors in developing Iloilo City as a premier smart city. So the main objective of Project Lungsod is to support the city's initiatives and use GeoICT solutions in achieving their visions to become a smart city. In order to do that, the project aims to develop 2 prototypes, one of which is the City Command, which will serve as the central nervous system of the City Command Center. And we will also be having a city management software interface integrating information from previous and current DOST projects and other sources. To complement that, the City Command rather, we will also be having the City Connect, which will help connect citizens with the mobile citizen application that includes features such as geovisualization, feedback mechanism, and social sensing of appropriate data.
In the world of endless possibilities, imagine telling stories without having to go outside the city. Now imagine bringing business to the palm of your hand. Imagine building spaces amidst comfort and security. Imagine living limitless. And imagine digitally owned solutions at your fingertips. Now imagine Iloilo City, a prime pilot area for innovative solutions as a smart city. One of the very first engagements of this kind in the Philippines. Driven by emerging technologies of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and geospatial solutions, we present Lungsod, a linked up of dramatics and social science research for the development of Smart Cities project. We share your vision of making Iloilo City a premier smart city, not only in the region, but also in the entire country and beyond. We add value to Iloilo City's Eye Care Center and support the revitalization of local economy by providing geo-ICT solutions for businesses, tourism, governance, and social services. This is Project Lungsod, and you can be part of the change. Connect with culture, connect with nature, connect with business, connect with safety, connect with fun, connect with us. Lungsod, change the way we look at cities. Audio Jungle.
Thank you so much, Doc Jack. We join you in your desire in making Iloilo a better and smarter city. Not only Iloilo, but who knows, every cities in our country. Thank you for changing the way we look at cities. And definitely, you're making all of your Iloilo kababayans very proud because of this project, right? Kung meron mang mga taga Iloilo na nanonood ngayon, grabe. Thank you. Thank you, Doc Jack. Now, if you have any questions relative to the project, if you want to partner, to connect with Doc Jack, please do so in the Q&A chat box or in our chat box. And we will have these questions or queries catered later on. Now, the next project is led by Mr. Alvin Carlo Tapia, an associate professor at the Institute of Mathematical Science and Physics in UP Los Baños. He finished his Bachelor of Science in Applied Physics last 2002 in UP Los Baños and Masters of Science in Material Science and Engineering last 2008 in UP Diliman under the Department of Science and Technology scholarships, while he took up his doctoral training on pulse terahertz spectroscopy in Kobe University from 2009 to 2013 under the Hitachi Scholarship Foundation. Dr. Tapia is a scholar. Wow. Dr. Tapia specializes on instrumentation and materials physics, wherein he spearheaded several projects on charge dynamics using low-frequency spectroscopic techniques from grants under the UP system and DOST. He plans to strengthen the Applied Spectroscopy Laboratory of the Physics Division in UPLB, which will cater to answer fundamental scientific questions and serve the needs of the nation. Here to discuss his recent project, terahertz spectroscopic fingerprinting of controlled substances relevant to human health and security, is Dr. Alvin Carlo Tapia.
Hello, everyone. I'll be sharing our project on terahertz spectroscopy for fingerprinting applications, which is part of the program on the terahertz research and innovation leading to commercially viable terahertz time-domain spectroscopy systems. The program is headed by Dr. Elmer Estacio from the National Institute of Physics, and I'm Alvin Carlo Tapia from UPLB, leading the project. This presentation will tell you about terahertz and the impacts of the missing wave. As we traverse the electromagnetic waves from lower to higher frequencies, there are applications for different frequency bands. We are used to using microwave ovens to heat food via microwave radiation. The signals from remote controls to our televisions use infrared radiation. And the colors of the world that our eyes can see are within the visible light region. Terahertz, the missing wave, is sandwiched between the microwave and the infrared region. The frequencies and dynamics within span from 300 gigahertz to several tens of terahertz. This frequency band can provide essential information regarding the motion of charges in materials and how they interact with the lattice or atoms arranged in the material. This is also highly useful in probing the fingerprint or molecular structure and network, since some molecular vibrations lie in the terahertz region, which are also relevant to collective motion and molecular interactions. Also, terahertz is a non-ionizing millimeter wave where detection is not affected by background temperature. Thus, it can be used for sensing and imaging applications. How will terahertz impact society? Some direct applications include communication, where data can be transferred faster than radio waves and microwaves. For medical imaging, terahertz has high contrast in various tissues without being highly scattered, and is also due to strong absorption of terahertz radiation by water. We can also observe charge dynamical behavior of materials for electronic applications. For screening applications, concealed substances can be identified and imaged at the same time. Terahertz can also offer quality assurance for pharmaceutical companies. Terahertz market has been forecasted to be around $1.4 billion by 2025. This suggests that the Philippine society and industries should ride the terahertz wave to be at the forefront of terahertz technology. For our project, we intend to differentiate substances and image them in concealed packages. This takes advantage of the penetration of the terahertz waves while it interacts with the sample. This then measures the spectral fingerprint of substances. The technology is currently being used at airports abroad. Since it can profile substances, we also intend to collaborate with pharmaceutical industries in profiling various compounds and their bulk morphologies. For a certain chemical compound, various forms can exist with different properties and effectivities when it interacts with a biological system. This differentiation has been profiled by terahertz spectroscopy. Since terahertz waves interact with the bulk system, it can differentiate particle sizes through the arrival of pulses in the detector. This takes advantage of the amplitude and phase measurements of the technique. How are these measured using the technique? First, an ultra-fast short laser is split into two. One is for terahertz emission, and the other is for terahertz detection. The beam is directed to a photoconductive antenna that generates terahertz radiation. It then passes through the sample, and the transmitted terahertz signal is detected by another photoconductive antenna. The samples can be measured with a reference. The terahertz signal through the sample has smaller amplitude and with a shifted phase in the time domain, as seen at the upper right figure. These can measure the terahertz absorption and index of refraction respectively once it is converted to frequency domain. We can also calculate other terahertz optical and electrical properties of the material like conductivity. In our previous projects, our collaborators from the National Institute of Physics have developed terahertz photoconductive antennas for terahertz instrumentation, such as the figure on the left. On a separate paper, they have developed antennas that show higher terahertz emission by applying magnetic field. These are very relevant in the Philippine context as we developed our own terahertz systems. In parallel, we have also used terahertz radiation to probe the properties of conducting polymer pellets. We found that there's an increase in the conductivity with temperature consistent with phonon-assisted hopping model. This model suggests that as the temperature increases, the barrier between two sides is decreased, leading to an easier transport of charge from one side to another as assisted by lattice vibration or phonons. We also observed localized and percolative conduction for various composites. The advantages of terahertz technique should be realized for the future potential applications of terahertz, such as being a non-destructive method while determining spectral fingerprints and material characteristics, which are relevant for detection and inspection. Our group looks forward in the coming years to the establishment of linkages with industry and terahertz innovation in the country, as we continuously develop novel materials 4 terahertz antennas and instrumentation systems for very relevant applications in human health and security. For the moment, we hope that the researchers, both in the academe and industry, would explore the future with terahertz waves. Like a Filipino sari-sari store, we are selling terahertz science to our future customers, the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Dr. Tapia, for your efforts and your initiatives on terahertz spectroscopy in our country, of course, in improving our health and security. And yes, let us all explore the future of terahertz waves here in the Philippines. Maraming salamat po. Now, up next is a project led by Engineer Francis Barquilla III, Officer in Charge for the Assistant Regional Director for Technical Operations and Supervising Science Research Specialist from DOST-4A. Aside from being DOST Calabarzon's ICT Projects Head, he also serves as DOST Calabarzon's Philippine Quality Award Category 4 Champion for Measurement, Analysis, and Knowledge Management, ISO 9001 Quality Core Team Leader, and Focal Person for Disaster Risk Reduction Management Projects. He has managed to boost the productivity and relevance of the unit to the operations, not just for DOST Calabarzon, but the His commitment and capability have enabled not just programmers and system maintenance officers, but also harnessed efficient team members and future leaders of the organization. Let's all learn about his project, the Customer-Focused DOST-STII.
Project monitoring is a vital process in an organization to determine and track project-related indicators such as classification, location, status, and field of concern. In 2018, under the DOST-Philippines shared funded project Development of Data Analytics Ready Info Unified System or DARIUS for Agile Delivery of S&T Services, the 16 DOST regional offices, led by the DOST Regional Operations Services, implemented a unified information system for monitoring its programs and projects. This web-based application is called Impression, or Information and Management of Projects, Services, and S&T Interventions, and was developed by the DOST Calabarzon Management Information Systems Unit. Currently, the platform stores 9,000 plus project information and is accessible at darius.dostcentral.ph. Phase 2 of the project, entitled Customer-Focused DARIUS-2, shall transform Impression's utility value from being DOST-centric to customer-focused through allowing proponents to submit their project proposals and providing access to cooperators on their project documents and other pertinent information on their approved project. DARIUS-2 will also enhance communication between the customers and the DOST Regional Office Project Coordinators and ease data capture from existing DOST info systems for use in data monitoring and analysis. Ultimately, DARIUS-2 shall assist in the building of a DOST-wide project information database that will hopefully provide a holistic view of the department's initiatives. DARIUS-2's project leader, Engineer Francisco R. Barquilla III, will talk more on the customer-focused DARIUS-2 project.
Ang DARIUS-2 ay isang acronym na ang meaning ay Data Analytics Ready Info Unified System na kung saan nagsimula ma-implement ang Phase 1 noong 2018. Nakafocus noon ang DARIUS sa pag-establish ng Common Project Information Management System Platform para sa lahat ng DOST regional offices. Nagawa po natin ito at ang website sa ngayon ay accessible sa darius.dostcentral.ph. Makikita nyo po sa website yung mapa na kung saan nakaplot yung 9,000 plus projects na na-implement ng DOST regional offices simula po noong 2002. May mga statistics and summaries na po pwede rin ma-access sa website at pwede nyo rin itong ma-filter base sa gusto nyo na categories like per location, per project type, per industry, per year approved, per status, and so on. Ngayong 2021, plano ng aming project team na magawa ng isang version kung saan ang mga nagnanais na mag-project or mag-request ng serbisyo sa DOST regional offices ay makapag-file online. Yung mga existing operators naman ay mabibigyan din ng access sa kanilang project documents and information para updated sila sa status ng kanilang approved projects. Papadaliin din ito ang communication between the customers at regional project coordinators para mas mabilis ma-address ang mga feedback and concerns at agarang maiparating ang mga importanteng announcements related sa project nang sa gayon ay maagang makapag-prepare ang cooperators and proponents. I-integrate din dito ang mga piling existing information systems ng ibang ahensya ng DOST para mapadali ang pag-gather ng data at maproseso ito upang makapagbigay ng beneficial information sa ating mga users. Magdi-develop din ng mga karagdagang data analytics na maaaring magsilbing gabay sa mga cooperators, proponents, customers, at iba pang stakeholders.
Customer-focused DOST-2 shall improve the DOST regional office's service delivery to its customers, which would eventually result in more projects being approved and more service availments. Internally, DOST-2 shall improve organizational transparency and employee productivity through the establishment of harmonized policies and procedures for projects and services. Ultimately, DOST-2 shall bring DOST services closer to the people.
Kudos to Engineer Barquilla and also to all our DOST regional offices for that customer-focused Darius 2. Maraming salamat po. Thank you to the first batch of our project leaders. Now, be prepared to answer questions from our participants today. I would like to invite Dr. Jack, Dr. Alvin, Engineer Francis, and of course, our very own Miss Hannah to please join me in our virtual stage. Should I call it that? Okay. So do we have them here?
Magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga po. Salamat po. Salamat po sa inyong mga projects. And definitely, first batch pa lang ito. Meron pang second batch. But we would like to hear po from all of our project leaders. Ano nga po ba ang naging motivation natin? Why did you pursue this project? You know, despite the community quarantine, magulo na yung mundo, but still, you pushed forth for this kinds of initiatives. So ano nga po ba ang naging motivation ninyo? Can you share with us so that we could also be motivated and inspired? Pwede din namin gawin yung mga naisip naming pwedeng contributions to the country. Can we start off with Doc Jack?
Yung Project Lungsod actually pinopose siya way before the pandemic. It was 2019 nung una siyang pinopose. However, nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, we thought it necessary na we adapt. I think that's what good scientists do, di ba? Kapag may biglang malaking problema that requires you to pull all your resources and your knowledge to address certain situations, ginagawa natin yun as scientists. So for me, the motivation for Project Lungsod had another value, another layer of value. So hindi na lang tayo nagfo-focus on things na I think initially finocus natin before, pero ngayon meron na tayong mga creative solutions na iniisip for the new normal. So gaya nga nasabi ni Sir Eric kanina, di ba? Na hindi, we're not looking at this situation na babalik tayo doon sa dati. Magkakaroon tayo ng bagong normal, and the technologies that we're developing and we're offering are some of the technologies that we think we can help out in this new phase of our lives.
Thank you, Doc Jack. Yes, kailangan talaga mag-adapt at mag-innovate. Thank you, Doc Jack. How about Dr. Alvin?
Hi, good morning. So for our case, the project did not come overnight. it took us siguro a lot of years of work, starting siguro early 2000 when I was studying in UP Diliman, and they were building the they were doing works in condensed matter physics. And then I did my work in terahertz spectroscopy in Japan. And then when I came back, we don't have an equipment. So it's a kind of rolling story. And for this project, what we wanted is to really answer the needs of the nation. So we have problems in human security. We also have problems regarding health. So we targeted 2 topics, which is on screening and detection of controlled substances, and also for pharmaceutical companies, so that our people would eventually have really good quality medicines. I hope that our technique would answer quality assurance that pharmaceutical companies need. So those are the motivations that we have in order to pursue this project.
Thank you, Dr. Alvin. Still, motivation is for the nation, if I may say. Yun yung nakikita ko even from Dr. Jack. How about Engineer Francis?
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. So ito pong Darius-2, ito po yung phase 2 po nung Project Darius, which is a DOST featured funded project which was implemented po noong 2018 hanggang first quarter ng 2019. So yung motivation dito is because matagal nang pinaplano ng lahat ng regional offices ng DOST na magkaroon ng isang unified na information system para po sa lahat ng mga proyekto nito. So napakarami po kasing mga proyekto ng mga regional offices, and yung isang problema namin, wala kaming isang platform para i-monitor itong mga ito. Through the initiative po ng aming pong past na DOST Regional Director si Sir Alex Madrigal, and the support of Ma'am Yusek Brenda at that time, Ma'am Yusek Brenda Nazaret Manzano at that time, na-encourage namin yung lahat ng DOST Regional Offices na magtulong-tulong para ma-establish po itong platform, ito nga pong impression at ito pong project, ito pong Darius. Noon pong una, nakafocus lang po siya doon sa internal na operation po noong regional offices, which is project database lang siya ng regional offices, but yung pong Darius 2 ngayon is nakafocus na po siya sa customer. So pwede na silang mag-upload ng kanilang mga proposal or mag-submit ng request for services po sa amin sa mga regional offices. Ang sa gayon ay mas mapabilis namin yung pag-deliver nun pong aming services at mabigay namin yung accurate na status ng kanilang mga proyekto. Yun po.
Salamat po, Engineer Francis. Talagang serbisyo para sa bayan. Yun pa rin talaga ang motibasyon ng ating mga project leaders. Maraming salamat po. So of course, in light of still what is happening, what we are facing, di ba po? How did you adjust your research and development activities with our current setup? Di ba po, naka-community quarantine po tayo. Can you share with us po, how are you able to manage still to keep it going? Meron po ba gusto mag-start, o can we just go back again to Doc Jack?
Hi, sorry. Medyo naputol ng konti. What was the question again?
Okay. How are you able to adjust, Doc, yung mga research and development activities po ninyo given still our current setup medyo constrained pa rin because of the community quarantine, di ba, sir?
Mahirap talaga, especially sa project namin that involves data gathering, fieldwork. Pero I guess dun sa situation namin, we found creative ways to collaborate closely with our LGU partners. To be honest, mahirap din sa side ng LGU kasi they've been really hit hard with community quarantines recently. But we maintain close communication with them. And I think that's a very important factor in project management. If you maintain that close relationship with the beneficiaries, if you have people on the ground, kasi meron kami mga tao rin na nandoon na mismo sa Iloilo. So they're the ones, kumbaga, doing the conversations for us then. So I think If there's one thing that helped us out with all of these restrictions, it's yung close talaga na relationship with the partners.
Yes, yan dapat ang hindi napuputol. Yung communication. Thank you. Thank you, Doc Jack. Can we hear from Dr. Alvin?
Hi, hello. For our case, for some reasons, our work plan coincided with the pandemic. The procurement of our equipment needs probably 7 months to 8 months before it gets to before we can acquire the equipment. So we first are doing computational techniques for fingerprinting of substances. So it's actually a standard way to do computational and then compare it with experimental. So for the first few months, we're doing computational techniques. And then when the equipment arrives, that is the time when we have to compare our computational and experimental results. And basically, it's very hard for experimentalists to go to the laboratory. So we have to resort for what is available, and that is using our computers. And for project management, we can use Facebook Messenger to have real-time updates of what's happening in terms of our paperwork and stuff. So I think we make use of what is available and just basically take advantage of the opportunities, whichever comes first. So that's our strategy.
I second that. We have to make use of what is available. We should not be stopped. We should not be hindered. Thank you, Doc Alvin. And of course, Engineer Francis.
So yun naman pong sa amin, mahirap po sa kalagayan, lalong-lalo na sa amin sa Calabarzon because ilan po yung nagdaan sa aming sakuna. Like yung Kaal Volcano eruption, napakalapit po namin dyan. So naapektuhan po kami dyan yung pandemic and yung pong ating magkakasunod ng mga bagyo na dumaan ito pong September, October last year. So, prior to that po kasi, meron na kaming mga existing na mga Facebook groups and messenger group chats and emails. So, nakakausap namin yung aming mga counterparts sa regional offices. So, matagal na siyang established. Yun na lang naging problema namin since yung part doon sa data gathering, pag-update ng mga projects is dahil nga nagkaroon ng quarantine restrictions, hindi makababa yung pong aming mga frontliners which are from the PSTCs. Yung nag-update ng mga status ng mga projects, nangangalap ng mga datos, ng mga reports po natin. So, syempre, may quarantine restrictions, mahirap magpunta doon sa lugar. But so far as for the management of the project, naka-adjust naman po kami kaagad because yun nga po mga existing na kasi yung mga tools, yung mga platforms. Same dun sa nabanggit ni Doc Jack and Doc Alvin. We have to utilize what is available lalo na yung sa mga technologies online. Thank you po.
Salamat po, Engineer Francisco. Totoo po yan. Kailangan talagang magpatuloy, just as what they have mentioned. And yes, we have to use what is available, utilize what is there. Habang nagsasalita po kayo kanina, 3 words yung naiisip ko, nag-create kayo, nag-innovate kayo, at patuloy kayo nag-communicate. So I think yun yung mga bagay na ginamit niyo po to continue with your pursuit. Diba po? So thank you so much to all of our project leaders. We have a question here, of course, for Ms. Hannah. Ms. Hannah, how do you intend to push forward with your advocacy po in science and technology?
Yes, so just like you actually mentioned in my introduction, Miss Diane, I have a page called Books of Tomorrow PH, which is in gaining school supplies and book donations for especially far-flung communities. So at the moment, I'm focusing on my home province of Masbate. And recently, I did order quite a lot of science books, about even just about planets, little like it's a little book just to get started, but I'm sure that, you know, by children flipping through those pages, it will hopefully inspire them. So that's just my little way of contributing for now. But tomorrow I will be having a meeting with DOST with you guys, and I'm so excited to plan, you know, more projects, more collaboration. And with the platform that I have as your Binibining Pilipinas International 2021, I'm definitely going to show everyone, you know, that you can be a woman in STEM, any gender, any age, and you can wear that lab coat proudly. I'm very excited. So yes, thank you for having me again today. I'm getting goosebumps by hearing all of the project leaders. You know, these type of projects is what I used to only hear about in my classes. So it's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Miss Hannah. So I think many of our participants, as I myself, is curious. Are you open for book donations? How are we going to say donate science books for your page, or for your endeavor on providing books, science books for your organization, for Masbate, or for those far-flung areas?
Yes, so I do have an Instagram and Facebook page, Books of Tomorrow PH, and just send a message there. I do handle that account, so I'm the one replying, and I'm happy to, you know, pick up the books or organize drop off, and definitely these will be sent to the communities, schools. If you have a location in mind, I can help you to get those there. So yes, if anyone listening, you have any books that you no longer need that you think will inspire the next generation, please do contact me.
Okay, I think so. You heard that, participants. You heard that, people. We can enjoy Miss Hannah in this endeavor by giving away our books and sparking interest to our students, to our children. Thank you so much, Miss Hannah. Okay, I think I would just go. I would continue with you for this question. From, can I see? Okay, anonymous Zoom. Okay. Hi, Miss Hannah Arnold. Thank you for inspiring us with your stories and for advocating S&T. I am not in the field of STEM, but I'm curious on how specifically you are advocating STEM education. Maybe we can get some ideas also on how we can promote it in some future projects that we will be having. Okay. I think this is relative already to the above question. So to whoever that is, I think we can share, you know, with the initiative of Miss Hannah in advocating STEM through giving away some of our books, and of course sharing still that initiative to all of our friends in the Facebook, in other social media pages. Okay, so what else do we have? Okay, to Dr. Alvin. Okay, I'm running through the questions here. Okay, to all of our PLs, how did you? Okay, I think that's done. There's so many questions coming in. Okay, for Dr. Alvin, what is the effect of the terahertz signal to humans? Dr. Alvin?
So it's a very good question, because in terms of applications, we want, if we will use it for medical applications, we want it to be safe. As far as I know, there have been very little studies regarding the effects of terahertz on human cells, tissues. What we all know for now is that it's non-ionizing, which means that it cannot cause any problems with our genetic codes or whatsoever. And also the temperature effects is very small, smaller than the infrared radiation. So, but of course, if you want to use it and put it in the market, we really have to be sure so that it's safe for everyone to use. So I hope that in the future we can also collaborate with medical experts so that we can test it on human skin. But in some conferences I attended, they're using it for breast cancer, for detection of breast cancer. I'm not sure right now if it's already being used in the industry.
Okay, there's still a lot to explore in that. Thank you, Thank you, Dr. Alvin, and thank you also for answering this question in our question and answer box. Salamat po. Engineer Francisco, when can we access this DOST-2 and who can use it? Sino nga po ba ang pwedeng gumamit nito?
Okay, so yung pong Darius 2 will be completed hopefully by December po, 2021. Ano po? So matatapos po yan. Yung pong existing natin na website is already accessible sa darius.dostcentral.ph. Ano po? Yung po na customers natin dito is yung lahat ng gustong mag-avail ng serbisyo ng mga regional offices ng DOST. And also yung mga magpa-project, like yung mga proponents natin, researchers na gustong mag-project, ano po, mga MSMEs, no? Startups na gustong mag-project sa DOST. Yun po. Thank you po.
Salamat po, Engineer Francisco. So, para sa mga kasama natin dito, if you are interested to submit your proposals, meron din kayong mga gustong proyekto, programa, you can submit it there in DOST-2. Okay, we still have a question here. Okay, this would be our last question in the interest of time. Okay, I'll be throwing this question, of course, to Ms. Hannah. Ms. Hannah, would you like to pursue the science and technology after your reign or after a few years after your reign as Miss International?
Yes, well, hopefully I am crowned Miss International, so it might be a few years down the track. But actually, before I did pursue my beauty pageant dream, my professor wanted me to complete my master's and work with him in his chirality group. I really did want to continue this, but I already had my mind set on the pageant also. So definitely, I'm not closing my doors on that. And one day I do hope to be, a crime scene investigator. I do want to be that forensic science at the scene of the crime, whether that's here in the Philippines, Australia, or anywhere. I definitely am looking forward to that in the future.
We are glad to hear that. Thank you, Ms. Hannah. Thank you to all of our project leaders. Maraming salamat po. I know we just have a limited time to accommodate some of your questions, but hopefully, should there be any other questions or should you want to connect with our project leaders, want to partner with them, just feel free to chat them through our chat box. Take this opportunity while they are still here. So thank you so much. And because of that, I wouldn't miss for the world to have this photo opportunity with our project leaders and of course our Miss Hannah. May I also call Doc Eric and Ma'am Nins, okay, to join us here. And of course, sige po, after this, I'll be calling the second batch of our speakers to join us also for a whole group photo. Okay. Do we have Doc Eric here? And Ma'am Nins, shall you join us? For this opportunity. Okay. Okay, mukhang wala pa sila. Or perhaps in another meeting, and we understand that these people are continually juggling things together and we appreciate them because these are all for the Filipino people. Okay, I think we are okay. Thank you, Ma'am Nins. Okay, I think Doc Eric is in another meeting, so let's just take this time for our photo op. Okay, on my cue, let's give our best smile. I'm gonna fix my hair. Okay, let us all smile in my cue. Technical team, please help me on this. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, another shot, please. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, so can we have the other speakers to join us again For the second batch, advance lang po so that we can have our group photo. Sir Erwin, Miss Evelyn, please, and Sir Romerick to also join us here. Salamat po. Okay. All right. I think we're complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. Your smiles after 3. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, last shot. 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your beautiful smiles. Thank you for your inspirations. Thank you for your encouraging words. Maraming salamat po to our first batch of project leaders, and of course to Miss Hannah. We look forward to further collaborating with you, engaging with you, and connecting with everybody. Salamat po. Salamat po. Okay. All right. So we are done for the first part of our projects and for our question and answer. So this time we would be wanting to hear from our participants. Kamusta na kayo? Okay. Can you let us know how do you feel after the first part of the presentations by answering the poll that you will see on your screen. Or just okay lang ako, Miss Dayan. Or overwhelmed, too much info, or were you able to digest those? Or were you motivated, okay, to do your research work? You know, it's never too late. If you meron kang mga projects na hindi pa nagawa, you can still do it, you can still achieve it, okay, and be reminded of your why. Okay, wow. Okay, keep them coming, keep them coming. We have 240 participants here in our Zoom. A little while, I remember 171 lang tayo, but wow, we are now 240. Thank you. And also in Facebook. Okay, so how many percent have answered? Okay, 56%. Okay, I think that most of our participants have become interested and wanting to learn more. And because you want to learn more, let us go now to our second batch of presentations. And while you're still interested, okay, meron kaming hinanda pala dito. Just to let us loose for a while. It's already 10. Baka nagugutom na kayo or you want to have your quick bio break, go ahead and do it. But first, we would be having a simple game. Would you like to play? Okay. Ms. Diane, what's the catch? Of course, we have a catch. This is the new normal. We would be giving merchandises from Pisherd right at your doorstep. So, how do you get it? This is how you will win the prizes. Okay, so we'll be showing some emojis, okay, flash on your screens, and all you have to do is to identify and guess what movie title it refers to. I think that this has been the new normal, diba? Among Us, wala na, hindi na tayo pwede mag-travel, hindi na tayo pwedeng kumain sa labas, very restricted. So I think what we do is watch movies, and I bet you would definitely get to answer these questions for our game. Okay, shall we have a sample? Let's display the first slide with an icon. What could probably this icon tell us of a movie? A tearjerker movie. Okay, definitely you got it. Okay, you got it. Okay, aba, mukhang palaban ang mga participants natin. Ang daming nagsagot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so not only will our participants from the Zoom room can participate, but even participants, our friends from Facebook, go ahead and chat away, comment away, okay, in our comment section. And our secretariat will be taking note of who answered correctly, okay, yung unang makakasagot here in the Zoom and also in the Facebook. We'll be having 5 winners in the Zoom and 5 winners in our Facebook Live. Okay? So, syempre, sample lang yan. Okay? So, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Okay. Exercise the fingers and win a prize. Slide 2, please. What could be the title of the movie? The main actress here is one of my favorite actresses. Ooh, okay. Do we have? Okay. Okay. Definitely you know this movie. Okay. So, with all the numbers of the messages here in the chat box, I hope that our secretariat were able to get the first participant who answered correctly. And yes, the correct answer is The Devil Wears Prada. It has to be complete. You shouldn't miss the, okay? So The Devil Wears Prada. Congratulations to our participants here in the Zoom who got it correctly, and also from Facebook who got it correctly. Okay, you still have a chance. Don't miss to answer correctly and fastly with this question. Slide 3, please. What could be the title of the movie? What could be the title of the movie? Okay. Mabilis ang pagsagot talaga. Okay, I think you got it. Very, very, very common movie, but classic movie. Okay, correct answer is, of course, you got it correctly, Titanic. Okay, so congratulations to whoever got it correctly. Okay, next, we still have last three na lang, okay? Galingan nyo na, bilisan nyo na ng pag-type. Okay, what could be this movie? Okay. All right. Okay, you got it correctly. The correct answer is Hunger Games. Okay. Hunger Games na lang. May ibang naglagay ng Catching Fire, but we would just be getting Hunger Games. Okay. So congratulations. Next, last 2 items. Okay, what could this be? Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is The Avengers. Congratulations to our participants who got it correctly. And last but not the least, this would be the last chance to win. Last chance to win our merchandises. 3, 2, 1. Do we have answers? Okay. All right, you got it correctly. The answer is 4 sisters and a wedding. Okay, congratulations. Thank you so much to our participants who actively joined our game for today. To our secretariat, please reach out to the first respondents at sana nagising kayo. Nagising ang inyong mga diwa with that, because we will be starting for our second set of presentations. So this time, the first project for our second batch is led by Mr. Erwin Enriquez, professor and chair of the Department of Chemistry at the Ateneo de Manila University. His research interests are materials, analytical chemistry, nanostructures, and surface analysis, wherein he was able to publish several research and publications throughout the years. Today, Mr. Enriquez is with us to discuss his latest project, Batid, RFID band for personalized body temperature monitoring. Let's watch this video.
COVID-19 has really affected the entire world. And in the Philippines, the recent update shows that we are also affected by a new variant of the virus. Although vaccines and vaccination is still ongoing, ECQ is still happening because of these new variants, and the country is nearing 2 million in the number of COVID-19 cases. This has resulted in what we now know as the new normal. One of the new normal protocols is regular body temperature monitoring, which is required at every entryway because body temperature is an indication of symptoms. And the most common way to do this is using a thermal scanner. The problem with this method is that it is slow, people line up, and social distancing is not maintained. Data are often not saved, and temperature readings can be inaccurate. So we offer a technology for the new normal. So hi, I'm Erwin Enriquez from the Ateneo de Manila University. And with funding support from PSURE DOST, together with our partners, Sparksoft Solutions Incorporated, we offer BATID, which is an RFID band for personalized body temperature monitoring. And the advantages of this is that it is a wearable device that provides identification and at the same time temperature of the wearer. And the information can be saved in a database, and members of organizations such as in schools, workplaces, factories, and condominiums will benefit from this because it is faster, it has more accurate reading of the body temperature, it's social distancing compliant, and also more importantly, the information can be linked to contact tracing systems. In order to make the device cost effective, we use printing as a way to manufacture it. So this is one of the major components of our research, to be able to print a major component of the device, which is the RFID antenna. So as shown in this video, printing is an emerging technology to manufacture electronic devices. This is actually classified as additive manufacturing process because you only use materials where it is needed, such as shown in the schematic. For example, when you go to a tailor to make your clothes, the tailor cut away pieces of the cloth to be able to come up with a final design. So that is subtractive. In additive manufacturing, you don't waste materials. Because our project is still ongoing, so let me just share with you some of our results. So of course, because we are printing, we have to use inks. So we use metallic inks so that we can make the hybrid device. The metallic ink is used for printing the antenna, which is a major component of the BATID band. So for our research, we have used commercial silver ink. And fortunately, we also have our own formulation, but this is made of gold ink. The gold ink is made up of very small particles or nanoparticles of gold, and we find this quite useful in our fabrication. Because printing of devices is still an emerging technology, so we encounter problems such as, for example, a poorly adhered antenna. But we have been successful in making a strongly adhered antenna, such as shown in this video. So this is very useful because we need to make a reusable device for the purposes of the BATID device. We already have a successful prototype such as shown here, so which can read the temperature and the identification. In order to ensure that the device is acceptable to many, so we've done a market survey and our respondents showed acceptability and likability, and they have a perceived importance of the device and will be likely to buy or recommend it for use. So we do hope that when this technology is available, that you will use it so that it will help us in coping with the new normal. And of course, we would like to thank the support of the DOST for funding this research.
Okay, thank you for that presentation, Dr. Enriquez. And yes, we will be using that once those are out. Thank you. The next project will be imparted by Dr. Evelyn Taboda, a senior expert at the European ASEAN Green Tech Project under the Enhanced Regional Europe-ASEAN Dialogue Instrument, or E-READY, and the Dean and Professor of the School of Engineering at the University of San Carlos in Cebu City. Her research interests include bioprocess engineering, sustainable and integrated food, water, waste, energy engineering, sustainable production and consumption, and the relevance of intellectual property to society. Dr. Taboda is a two-time awardee of the prestigious WIPO Gold Medal for Inventors for her technological innovations and outstanding achievement in utilizing intellectual property for social and economic development. Dr. Taboda is now working on the development of biodegradable nanofiber filters as an active material for medical grade face masks. Let's watch her video.
Good morning, everyone. Today I would like to present to you our project on the development of biodegradable nanofiber filters as active material for medical grade face masks. This project is funded by shared grants and aid, science and technology for a resilient community against the pandemic program. This is also done in collaborative partnership with EMS group of companies as our industry partner. I acknowledge today my team members. We have Dr. Noel Peter Tan as co-investigator, Engineer Alvin Martin, and Engineer Darrell Flores as the research assistants. So today we know that we are experiencing a very important problem around the world, and that is the COVID-19 pandemic, which contributes to adverse effects on the economy and the mental health. So this project actually wants to contribute concretely to the solutions to this very big and important problem. So one way to do it is by looking at the personal protective equipment like face masks and respirators that people can use in order to prevent the transmission of COVID-19 virus into the body. As you can see, virus can be carried out from one person to the other, and so face masks and respirators are important for daily use. Now we know that there are still a lot of drawbacks of the current PPE, such as the face mask. For one, filtration efficiency is very low, and then filtration mechanism is also limited, and then later on, since we use face mask every day, this waste face mask could also be a source of plastic pollution to the environment. And many of the common face masks do not have antiviral effect. So in this context, the project aims to produce a minimum viable product for face mask using pectin nanofibers with anchored polyphenols as active inner layer of this face mask. How are we going to do this? So we have two important and new material source for the inner filter. That is the polyphenols, or that are the polyphenols as antimicrobial agents and antibacterial agents which are anchored into the pectin nanofiber material through the aerospinning technique. So for example, if this is the active layer of the face mask, which is the middle layer in the commercially available face mask, we incorporate here polyphenols embedded in pectin so that the materials will be rendered truly bioactive, where it can have antimicrobial and antiviral effect, and then we could also contribute to the biodegradability of the face mask. So here, the pectin and polyphenol products used as raw material in this project come from a local company which produce it from mango peels and mango husks. So the technology we use here again is the solution blow spinning technology or aero spinning, and we learned that there are a lot of advantages of this, and which can be listed here. And in the end, this is actually cheaper, the aero spinning technology than the electro spinning. So we have here the research methodology. So we prepare the polyphenols, we optimize the production of this active material, and then we test the product for its important properties and characteristics. So we have here some video clips to show here just some pictures, the active layer which is being sprayed using the aero spinning machine, and this is the machine that can be used in the process here, where yeah, the spraying of this pectin and polyphenol mixture is done. Okay, and then so this is now opened, and then you can see the active layer, which is the blue layer here, which is already sprayed with the bioactive material. Okay. So in the end, we have to check whether the fibers or the nanofibers that we produce are of good quality. So here we are playing with many optimization techniques on and concentrations and different mixtures of materials of pectin and polyphenol mixtures, so that we are able to optimize and characterize the important properties of the face mask. So in the end, we have a minimum viable product, which is a nanofiber filter that can serve as active material for medical grade face masks produced in this project. And moving forward, we are now doing optimization and characterization of the final prototype, so that we can ensure that all the important properties of the product, especially pegging with commercially available face masks, are achieved. So with that, thank you so much, and I would also like to thank the organizer of the SIBOL 2021 conference for this opportunity to present our project. So if you have questions, comments, suggestions, or whatever, please email me at this email address at ebtaboada@usc.edu.ph. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also, Dr. Evelyn. Thank you. We also can't wait for that to be commercialized so we can use it using our face mask. So again, we would like to remind all of our attendees to please type in your questions, because after this last presentation, we will be catering your queries. All right, so let us move on to the last speaker for today, who is Dr. Romeric Pobre from the De La Salle University. Dr. Pobre is a full-time faculty member of the physics department of the De La Salle University since 1994. He is also currently the research head of the Optics Research Unit for Center for Natural Sciences and Environmental Research, or CENSOR, Research Center of the College of Science. His research interest is in the area of optical trapping, biomedical instrumentation, ultrafast electromagnetic field studies, terahertz spectroscopy, electrostatic discharge analysis on semiconductor chips, wearable biosensors, near-field radar imaging, cancer research, conservation studies, and digital image processing. Today, Dr. Pobre will be discussing his latest project, the development of a smart polymer metamaterial for wearable biosensors, through this video.
cardiovascular diseases are a major cause of deaths worldwide. In the Philippines, cardiac diseases represent the highest mortality rate, and arrhythmias are among the most common heart conditions. Conventional cardiac arrhythmia monitoring devices based on electrocardiogram or ECG monitoring can be ineffective for certain heart patients as the ECG signal does not always correlate well with the onset of heart attack. This is where wearable heart monitoring technology can play a major role as an alternative diagnostic mobile tool where attending physicians can rapidly provide better treatment plans. With the widely available mobile communication, together with the wearable heart monitoring in place, patients can send vital heart signs to their attending physician before the onset of heart attack. Open medical records could result in 100,000 lives saved yearly if research doctors had access to the data. People in remote areas could be assessed by medical doctors remotely, and research doctors and scientists can collect data more easily. That is why we have proposed this research project with the title, Development of a Smart Polymer Metamaterial for Wearable Biosensors. An electromagnetic metamaterial, based on its definition, is an engineered medium to have specific optical properties not common to naturally occurring materials. One of the advantages of metamaterials or metasurfaces is to be able to tune the material to our desired optical properties, not only by adjusting the individual materials involved, but also by altering the shape or geometric configuration of the structural pattern of the material. The novelty of the project comes from the use of a motion sensing device that can monitor the actual movement profiles of the different parts of the heart, which would be an ideal solution to this problem. Here, radar-based sensing comes naturally to mind. In fact, there has been significant recent interest in radar-based standoff detection and monitoring of human respiration and heart rate. However, very little research has been done in exploring the possibility of using radar sensors for detecting and identifying physiological motions inside the human body. Through preliminary analysis and experimental validation, we argue that radar-based sensors provide a unique solution to long-term cardiopulmonary motion monitoring and exhibit unique merits that existing sensor technologies lack. As a result, we propose the development of a smart polymer metamaterial radar sensor for the detection of the cardiovascular disorders with the following features. First is portability or miniaturization. Unlike the traditional approaches to monitor heart movements using ECG and MRI, which use very large devices and machines, the size of the proposed wearable radar sensor is 4 cm by 4 cm and 1 cm thickness. Second is flexibility. The goal of the project is to make a flexible sensor made from different types of polymer with low Young's modulus value ranging from 1 megapascal to 1000 megapascal. One example of such polymer is polydimethyl siloxane or PDMS, having a Young's modulus equivalent to 3.583 megapascals. Third is cost effectiveness. Compared to the cost of pre-existing medical technique used for heart monitoring such as MRI, which cost about 50 million pesos per unit, the overall cost for a unit of the proposed device will be 50,000 pesos only. Fourth is real-time monitoring. The monitoring procedure of the proposed device combined data gathering and image processing would take 100 milliseconds to 500 milliseconds. Three processes that will be considered for the metamaterial design are the following. One is forward design, which will use theory and simulation as the basis of the metamaterial design. Number 2 is inverse design, which approaches the design process as an optimization problem to be solved to find the desired characteristics of the metasurfaces for the antenna design. Number 3 is a combination of the above processes, where the forward and the inverse design processes will be used for machine learning. Currently, we were able to develop the theoretical model for obtaining cross-sectional images of the human heart and the surrounding chest region using radar-based imaging method, as well as the mathematical derivation and expressions to support the procedure. Furthermore, we were able to complete the needed design for some of the components of the smart polymer metamaterial for wearable biosensors such as the radar circuit and the human phantom model. This project describes how wearable technology could save our health from heart attack. With materials integration, radar signal characterization, and safety level testing of EM radiation, we can now design and build a prototype product that can be worn on skin, on chest with a strap, or simply worn as a shirt. This can be easily modified depending on the patient's gender and body size. In this project, the patient-to-physician connection can be wirelessly established to save more lives in the future, without going through the rigor of long and sometimes arduous healthcare consultation. With that, on behalf of Smart Polymer Metamaterials for Wearable Biosensors, thank you very much.
Thank you very much also, Sir Romerick. With that, we can be helped with any cardiovascular diseases or any heart diseases because of that project. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So we are up for catering your questions. Can I request our dear speakers to please turn on their cameras? Okay. So they're already here. So again, as I've asked our previous set of project leaders, what has been the motivation to pursue this project? You know, despite the constraints, the restrictions, and the struggles, the challenges that we have had. Anyone who would like to go first? Oh, by order na lang po ulit tayo. Okay, Dr. Erwin, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, the motivation, of course, is the new normal that we are facing. Actually, the real reason was why I got motivated was I got invited last year in a meeting with some of the administrators of the Ateneo. And back then, bandang May last year, just right after the first lockdown, the administrators were worried what will be the normal like and so on and so forth. So one of the questions that was asked was yung monitoring ng health. And with the current situation, and there's always that heavy traffic in Katipunan, I realized we cannot go through a slow process because it's just so slow. And we all experience it naman about going to entryways, meron talagang bottleneck. So we needed to use some of the technologies that we have so that we can develop something that is more useful for the normal. So yun talaga yan. So I think what we are offering is a quick way to do the health monitoring, plus kasama pa rin yung data information system. So our company partner will develop the software tech so that it can be also useful information for linking with contact tracing. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Erwin. 2-in-1 na nga kung paano niyo pong sinabi kanina. Okay, can we hear from Dr. Evelyn?
Okay, thank you, Diane, and thank you, everyone, for listening to and attending this conference. No, of course, our motivation is really very simple: to avoid and even mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus. No, using the PPE, and our current PPEs right now have a lot of limitations, drawbacks, as I already mentioned. So therefore, there is really a very important need, strong need to improve it further. By number one, putting in some antimicrobial or antiviral effect into the face mask so that it is a proactive filter towards mitigating and doing away or filtering the virus away from the body. And of course, we know that we use face masks every day. We use our protective gowns every day, and the mounting problem of plastic waste is already seen and felt, especially in the marine environment. So we would like to contribute to that by rendering at least our daily face masks as biodegradable as possible. So that's it, Diane, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Evelyn, for securing our safety, through that project. Hopefully, pwede nang magamit po, yung mga yan. Sir Romerick?
Oh, yes. Good morning to everyone, and thank you for attending this special occasion, SIBOL. And, I have both personal and also academic reason why we pursue this kind of project. Personal, because my family belongs to one of those family who have cardiovascular disease. So they have some, cases of heart attack and of course stroke also in our family. So that's one of the personal reason why we pursued this kind of project. Second, of course, academically. We started this way back in 2016 when my pre-med students in the pre-med physics program was able to develop what we call text road. So as an alternative to the usual silver chloride electrode we use for ECG, my students during that time developed a wearable text road. So you just wear, the shirt, and the shirt is already integrated this kind of text road. Then also with the help of our previous funding agency, CHED, under the PICARI, we're able to establish a connection with Professor Liu from the UC Davis, who was able to develop a radar imaging system at UC Davis, University California at Davis. So together with our team, we are able to transfer now the technology, but this time we want to develop a new antenna design for this kind of venture. And we practically have a team from the physics and from the biology department and from EC department who was able to come up with the design of an antenna that could really revolutionize how we detect actually for this one a heart movement. So we are actually blessed with a frontal, we call it the sternum, where we can actually see, it's like a window, para kang sumisilip na, where, the radar signal can actually interrogate, okay, what's going on with the heart. With this system, we can actually have a real-time monitoring of the most common disease like arrhythmia, atrial fibrillation, which is actually, critical cases for heart attack, actually. So with this device, you can actually monitor in real time what's really going on. And with the apps and the wireless technology that we have, combined with the wearable technology that we plan to do, we can actually mitigate that time, because our is the time element on how to catch, okay, this particular disease, especially cardiovascular, has been before the pandemic, the number one mortality cause of death. I mean, the cause of death, okay, in the world, not just here in the Philippines, also in the world. So these are the two motivating factors while doing so. We innovate, okay. At the same time, we adapt with whatever we have right now in the pandemic condition, which is a challenge, but with the challenge comes with responsibility and adaptability as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Sir Roderick. Thank you for sharing with us, your motivation. And I think the project would not only help, your family members with this kind of disease, but even everybody, di ba po, who are very concerned for their families, especially during this uncertain times, really have to secure our hearts, di ba po? So thank you. Thank you so much. And as you have mentioned, Sir Romerick, sige po, ituloy niyo na po siguro. How are you able to adjust, as you have mentioned, di ba po, may mga challenges tayo, o how did you able to adapt with this para po mapagpatuloy niyo yung study po ninyo in view of our current situation right now?
We're actually so blessed last year that that De La Salle adopted a bubble kind of policy where students can actually go to the lab, okay, and for a week or maybe 1.5 weeks, they could stay at the De La Salle dormitory for them to stay. So at least there is a mechanism or a way for our students to go to the lab. That was last year. Unfortunately, this year, because of the new variant and the sudden surge last March, again, we have to go to the restricted campus access. So right now, my students are working with the smart part of the polymer, which is actually doing a deep learning on how to actually design the antenna. And also, we're waiting for the equipment. As I mentioned by our previous Dr. Sarmiento from UP LB, we are still waiting. And fortunately, we are actually in the process of acquiring already this one, less than a year. And we're so thankful for the support, not only of DOST, who is willing to provide some leverage on how we could actually accelerate the acquisition of this equipment, but also on the way they also influence our administration, how we could access actually the laboratory. And I'm so thankful that I still have my students healthy. It's not it's not really a joke that your student also can be exposed to this kind of under this condition, and yet the Lord has been so gracious and kind to us that we could still work, okay, in the comfort of our home in spite of that. And some of the things we're doing like 3D printing and all of that's been done at home because the 3D printer now is so cheap. And one of my graduates should actually purchase one of the 3D printer. Of course, not the research grade type. It's just the initial, and they've been working at their home, okay. And these are some of the things that I'm so proud of. My students are so innovative, and they're so adaptable. They could pursue other things that for us to finish the project. And this has been a ride and a journey that we are so grateful and so excited at the same time. At the same time fearful, because sometimes we feel so helpless, and yet the Lord has been so kind and so in allowing us to go through that mental block, or sometimes mental there's a form of anxiety sometimes we need to because there are deadlines to meet and all of that, and yet with the grace of God we were able to overcome those type. And these are immeasurable. So kumbaga sa science, di natin ma-measure yung mga ganun ba. And yet, we recognize those instances, those areas that needs to be talaga recognized in the face of a pandemic condition. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Romerick. Indeed, it was only because of God's grace that we are still continuing, still standing amidst all the uncertainties and the challenges that we have had and will continue to face. And we recognize the efforts of your project team. Talagang tulungan para ma-accomplish yung project. Salamat po, Sir Romerick. How about Dr. Evelyn? Paano po kayo nakapag-adjust sa inyong mga activities given our situation? Can you share with us?
Thank you, Diane. Yes, indeed, it is very difficult, especially during the first year. So this is now our second year experiencing the pandemic, and medyo we are getting used to it already. But last year was really so difficult. For one, procurement is a very tedious process, a challenge, a very important challenge that I think our country still needs to sort out because for research, especially for science and technology research, procurement should be easy nationwide, and it's the opposite, and more so it is made very, very, very difficult last year because of transport problem and all those work from home situation that cannot be that we cannot sometimes work from home for some of the processes, especially dealing with customs. So with the help of our partner collaborator, the EMS group of companies, with the help of the DOST secretary, undersecretary, all those stuff, and even our USC president, we call on the powers that be so that the customs office would really heed our call to release and to make this process a little bit easier. So thankfully, before the year ended last year, we got our aero spinner, because that was imported, and then we had also our FTIR, some of the characterization equipment, but there's still one more equipment that we need to wait, and so, but then we try to do something such that we are able to still perform our characterization, because in the face mask story, the characterization is the most important aspect of the work, because the product is there, it's viable already. We just need to confirm all tests and then also engage external laboratories to confirm externally that the properties, characterization of the product is good enough for commercialization. And at least we are at that stage. So hopefully before the year ends, we can commercialize already this product because we really need it. And for the years to come, our new normal is already to wear face mask. And so therefore, it is also important that we make it biodegradable and we make it from our local materials and resources so that we could actually sustain our supply chain, no? Kasi we have problems also competing with the global market with the material for face masks. Everybody needs face masks. So therefore, there is a need to produce local materials for our home needs. So that's it, Diane. Thank you so much, everyone, for all the support, especially P-shirt.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Evelyn. Yes, we are looking forward. Masaya po kami malaman. Hopefully, di ba? Early next year po, pwede nang magamit yung mga face mask niyan. Because we are not only safe, but even it's safe for the environment din po. So that's something that we should all strive for then. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Evelyn. Dr. Erwin?
Well, actually, similar situation. So we are able to cope because allowed naman under ECQ research. So fortunately, that's allowed. So we are able to work during this pandemic times.
Thank you, Dr. Erwin. Talagang magpapatuloy lang talaga. We should continue and remember why are we pursuing these projects. And we value all of your efforts, your undying commitment for the completion of your projects. Diba po? So, one question po, kanina po nasagot na po ni Dr. Evelyn yung possible deployment of her technology of the face mask, di ba? So para po kay Dr. Erwin and also for Sir Romerick, when can we expect po the deployment of these technologies that you have mentioned earlier, and can the public avail?
Yes, actually, we are targeting to commercialize it once it's ready for commercialization. So we're intending to do pilot testing within the first year together with our partner. So, but right now we are still developing the fabrication, but we already have a working prototype. So in the next 2 months, we will start our pilot test with human subjects, of course, with bioethics approval from the University Research Ethics Committee. And then after that, we will make our commercialization, maybe a business plan, together with our partner, Panisya.
Thank you, Dr. Erwin. We wish you well for the pilot testing for the coming 2 months. Sir Romerick, how about yours po?
This is our first year, so our pilot test would be next year. So we're trying to get first all the equipment we need. But from our first engagement with UC Davis, we're able to detect particular movement of the heart. But what we want really is to provide meaningful information when it comes to cases like atrial fibrillation, all of that. So when it comes to signal processing, we were able to get some information already, but the problem is how do you make it better? So kumbaga, we just want a better antenna. We want a better way on how to detect it. So right now, we're still on that stage of getting a good signal to noise ratio for our antenna. So we have to fabricate first the antenna before we can do testing next year. So yun muna yung una namin gagawin. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Romerick. I think this next question is, sige po, for you again, Dr. Pobre. Hopefully that biosensor material be given due attention and gain wide acceptance and evaluation for patent. Thanks, Dr. Pobre, for that development. At what level now of development do biosensors performed? Any problems you encountered in the monitoring of the real-time, yung reception, transmission, etc.? Thank you.
Indeed, we have some problem with motion artifact. So the moment you breathe, it comes also with that artifact. So that means we have some sort of a feedback system to counter, okay, body movements, breathing, okay, and all of those artifacts. So those are things we need to address. So yun ang problema namin, yung artifacts coming from breathing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Dr. Ramari. Okay, in the interest of time, as much as we want to accommodate the questions, the remaining questions that we have, I think our speakers na lang po can accommodate these questions through the chat box. Pa-type na lang po ako if you could still entertain these questions. So by that, we end our question and answer discussion. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the wisdom and encouragement that you've also shared with us through your projects. Maraming salamat po. And of course, let us take this opportunity for a photo of our second batch of project leaders. Okay? Again, on my cue, salamat sa tulong na ating tech team. Okay? On my cue, let's have our photo in 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, isa pa po. 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. Again, maraming salamat po sa ating mga project leaders. I salute you. Thank you for all that you have shared. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your effort and commitment for not only for your projects, but of course, for the beneficiaries, for the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po. Sabi nga ni Ms. Hannah a while ago, you are our modern heroes, diba? Maraming salamat po. So, thank you so much, and thank you also to our participants who have answered our poll questions. And still, we are grateful that you are still interested and wanting to learn more. And yes, we will be offering more to you for the upcoming SIBOL events that we will be having. So stay tuned and stay connected with us so that you wouldn't miss a thing. So yung iba, overwhelmed, too much info, we are grateful still that you're with us and others are motivated. Thank you for answering our poll. Thank you for still engaging, even though it would be near lunchtime already. So maraming salamat po. Now we arrive at the last part of today's event. To officially wrap up SIBOL, Technologies for the New Normal Edition, please welcome the officer in charge of DOST-Philippines Office of the Deputy Executive Director and the Chief of the Industrial Technology Development Division, Engineer Niña Liza H. Escorial.
Good day, everyone. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo sa ating SIBOL 2021 Technologies for the New Normal. The Department of Science and Technology, PSURD, would like to offer our sincere gratitude to everyone who had made it today to join us in this webinar series on science and innovation, building opportunities for leverage, or SIBOL, that showcased various newly supported projects and this time, technologies for the new normal. We also thank our Executive Director, Dr. Enrico Paringit, for leading and bolstering the latest innovations even amid the COVID-19 pandemic, paving the way for these technologies for the new normal. We are grateful as well as for this continuous guidance, support, and leadership to DOST-Philippines. The Council would like to express its deep appreciation to the efforts of the different project leaders who are present here today and shared with us their new projects as well as their expertise on these technologies for the new normal. From the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Dr. Zar Hakiri Sarmiento, the chairman of the Training Center for Applied Geodesy and Photogrammetry. From the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Dr. Alvin Carlo Tapia, assistant professor, Institute of Mathematical Sciences and Physics. From the Department of Science and Technology, Region 4A, Engineer Francis Barquilla III, the Senior Science Research Specialist from the Planning, Monitoring, and Evaluation and the Management Information System of that region. From the Ateneo de Manila University, Dr. Erwin Enriquez, a professor from the Department of Chemistry. From the University of San Carlos, Talamban Campus, Dr. Evelyn Taboada, the Dean of the School of Engineering. And from the Physics Department of the De La Salle University, Professor Romeric Pobre. We hope we all learned something new today from these novel technologies that seek to help us adapt to the country's current situation amid the COVID-19 pandemic, as we all continue to perform our respective duties while keeping ourselves safe. Through the help of these latest innovations, we can make sure that progress will not be halted even with the presence of COVID-19 as we advance further into the new normal way of living. I hope that these technologies will boost the capability of the different industries that it seeks to address, and its end users will benefit from the convenience and improvement that it will provide. As leader and partner in enabling scientific breakthroughs and innovations across many sectors and industries in the Philippines, the DOST-Philippines Shared will remain committed in spurring growth in the Philippines by supporting more R&D projects and initiatives like this. We will never waver in building the R&D capabilities of Filipinos and providing more opportunities to catapult positive change. We enjoin Filipinos from the S&T community to attend the next segment of the SIBOL 2021 webinar series on September 6, which will be about manufacturing or processing. We would like to thank everyone joining us today in the fourth part of our webinar series. Your presence here today proves that you are with us in the pursuit for continuous advancement as we all work together amid this pandemic. Let us all remain supportive of various technologies and innovations for us to thrive under these new conditions. Thank you and magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Magandang araw din po, Engineer Nina Liza. Salamat po. Thank you for your message. And yes, progress will not be halted and we will continue to improve and embrace this new normal through this S&T innovations. As we end, my takeaway from this webinar that we have just had is to turn the different challenges of our situation into opportunities. Sabi nga, diba, budding opportunities to further improve and develop learning and economic growth. Continue to innovate, continue to communicate and collaborate, because we know that through this, we will be able to not just survive, but thrive amidst this new normal. Okay, again, reminding everybody to answer our feedback form online. May nakita ko kanina sa chat. Yes, meron po tayong feedback form because you will only be able to get the certificate if you have accomplished it. So, provided in the chat box is the link to our feedback form. And flashed also on your screens is a schedule of our SIBOL webinar series. So the next event will be on September 6th, so mark your calendars because we will be featuring new projects for the manufacturing and process sectors. Please do follow our social media pages so that you would be updated, or visit this link that is displayed on your screen so that you would be updated and be up of what is to come next. So finally, before we end, to those whose names are on the screen, please send us a message on our official Facebook page at DOST-Philippines for details on your prizes. And congratulations to all of you. So yan sa Zoom and also to our Facebook. So thank you for joining us today. This has been Dayan Tating, leaving you the idea that innovation with collaboration is the key to arriving at a better normal for the Philippines, our beloved nation. Kita-kits tayo sa susunod nating pagsibol and learn about budding science innovations that are leveraged by the DOST-Philippines to sprout growth in the country. Thank you, stay safe at mabuhay tayong lahat. Bye! Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Get ready to witness new, cutting-edge research and development projects set to rise above the Philippine horizon.
The Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technology Research and Development proudly announces SIBOL 2021, or the Science and Innovation Budding Opportunities for Leverage. SIBOL 2021 will showcase the features of 161 new DOST-Philippines supported projects approved for funding in 2020, making it one of the most anticipated events in the science and technology community.
Catch upcoming innovations in aerospace, buildings, utilities, logistics, transportation, climate change reduction, disaster risk reduction, earth resources and mining, energy, environment, food security, governance and public sector, health, human development industries, human security, manufacturing and processing, metals and engineering. These projects will be unveiled per sector, spread out in the coming months of the year.
See what's next for the Philippines at SIBOL 2021 and learn about budding science innovations that are leveraged by the DOST-Philippines to sprout growth in the country.